everybody, it's Katie and Tuck here. We're the Slow Life Guides, and this is our Sunday weekly update. Last week we were in Volcan Arenal area of Costa Rica, and then we flew home on Wednesday, or home for me, back in Austin, Texas, which is where we are. And we're staying at our friend's place. This is his tiny home. His name is Joel. He's a designer here in Austin, and he built this tiny home to stay in when he was in college and now rents it out on Airbnb. So you should definitely check him out and see if you can stay in a tiny home while you're visiting Austin. And today we're gonna do the high-low haws again. And Tucker, why don't you start?
Oh, okay. When did this week start? My high moment for this past week was finally having a chance to meet Katie's parents and her brother. We went out to dinner last night, and we had a pretty long 3-hour dinner, lots of laughs, lots of fun, so I feel really great about that. That was my high. Low for the week is just coming back to the U.S. and feeling a little bit of hectic energy here in the city. Didn't really realize how amazing that Pura Vida really was until you get a stark contrast of it, and you're here and just trying to assimilate back to life in the U.S. And just realizing how chaotic some cities can be. Planes flying overhead, helicopters buzzing. We've gotten stuck twice now for a considerable amount of time in Austin traffic, construction. Last night we sat on the highway for about 30 minutes and didn't move at all. So those were kind of my low moments as far as I'm happy to be back in the US, but not really wanting to deal with some of the challenges of city life. And then my ha moment for the week. After we videoed you guys last week, I had a near panic attack as we were trying to pack up for Costa Rica and realized that I couldn't find my passport.
Funny.
Super funny. It's funny in hindsight because after we tore life apart, we found it, and it was no big deal. But yeah, that was kind of a bonehead funny high moment for me this week.
My high for this week was definitely getting my dog back. Thule, you've probably seen him walking around. Everyone always asks, how did that reunion go? And he was definitely kind of skeptical at first, but then it was like a full body wiggle of excitement. So that was definitely a high. And my low was similar to Tucker's in that I was driving into Austin to pick up my car at my parents' place, and there's just so much development going on. And while expansion is just kind of inevitable in a really cool city like Austin, it was weird to see all of that happening in a green space that I've always just kind of taken for granted near where I grew up. So that was definitely a low. And of course, sitting in traffic, I got really frustrated. Tucker made the point that it felt a lot like prison to just be sitting in your car stuck. I mean, literally you cannot move. Honking doesn't do anything. The road is shut down. That was definitely a low. And my ha of the week was probably anything that this guy does. I mean, he's so well behaved, but he's also just so goofy, and I've missed having his energy around me, and so I'm glad that we are back together, reunited, and everything that he does is just
feels so good.
And it feels so good, and everything he does is just hilarious. So that's our High-Low Ha updates of the week, and we're excited that you guys are joining us, and we'll check back in next week.
Bye.
Bye!
Huli, that was perfect timing.
You sat so well.